topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from experts on such topics as legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to our experts in community association law, estate planning law, tax relief, Medicare, public insurance adjusters, neuropathy treatment, business brokers, and personal injury law, along with many other topics. Now here's your host for the last 17 years, Steve O.
Afternoon, Houston. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show. Like you said, last 17 years we have been doing this show. Gosh, I can't believe it's been that long. We started off with just radio stations around the country, and I am so glad that podcasts have become so popular. And I am so glad that we were able to join the TikTok family. We welcome all them on. If you have a question we're doing Medicare today, and we have one of the top agents in the Houston area for Medicare. You can write your questions in if you're on TikTok. We'll be more than happy to ask our expert. Again, we're talking Medicare Advantage. Enrollment period is coming on. And listen, there is so much to learn about Medicare. So if you're getting ready to start, or you have parents that are getting ready to start, I'm telling you, you don't want to miss today's show. Then we have our second show. We have one of the top Medicare agencies, and we will be joining them in about 25 minutes. We have got, and we're waiting for her to come on. This is unlike her. It's the Jill Belvin Insurance Agency. And we're going to be talking, again, Medicare. If you need an agent, which I am telling people, if you need an agent, don't go by these national commercials. I know you see them with the celebrities on there, and I am telling you, in fact, there's companies now that are insurance companies that are being sued now for false advertising. Some of these companies are making these horrendous promises if you come on with them. I must get probably 50 calls a week from health insurance companies. And many of them are all robocalls. I hate talking to a robot. But we have the Jill, please write this down, the Jill Belvin Insurance Agency. Their phone number is 832-281-4474. And I'm telling you that we get so many people writing us, telling us that they went with these national companies. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with national companies, but they seem to make promises. Like I heard the other day, one of them made a promise that if you sign up with them, that you will get $3,000 a month for groceries. You know the old saying, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. I have never, ever heard of a company giving that kind of allowance for groceries. That's why shows like this are so important, that you can learn about, so you don't get ripped off. And again, we're waiting for Jill Belvin, who is the agent in Houston. This is very unusual for her to be late. I think I just spoke to her yesterday. So, we do live shows, and we do them with lawyers and doctors and financial people, a lot of professionals, home improvement. And there's just times that they get caught up with emergencies, and we do understand that. Been doing this, like I said, for 17 years, and we know that emergencies come up. I know that our next show, because I just spoke to her late last night, she will be with us at 2:25. That's Eastern time. And then we don't do any weekend shows, but Monday we have a show in the morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time that's on wealth management. We have one of the greatest wealth management advisors. And then Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we will be doing our conservative current news show. And one of the first questions about that show is people always say, "Oh, you watch Fox." I don't watch Fox. That's not where I get my information from. I think all the networks are full of it. So I go right to the source. So that will be Monday night at 6 p.m. Again, we're doing a Medicare show right now. And I need just to go back just to make sure. If sometimes I've given the wrong link to the show to come on, not a lot, but once in a while, I just want to make sure that I gave her the right link. I'm sorry to do this during the show, but let me just make sure, because they're on a different. Yes, link for your 1 o'clock. Yes, we did send the right time. Yep, just wanted to make sure, Juan, because sometimes I do make mistakes, but she must have had an emergency come up, and she's such a fine agent. She's one of the best. Let me see. Nope. We only get about 150 emails a day. So I apologize. If you own a business, if you're a lawyer in the health care business, we have a lot of homeowners. So if anything having to do with home improvement, we do all kinds of financial shows. Please contact us about coming on our show. Our shows are 25 minutes long. They're all live. You can do the show right from your office. And you do the show once a month. My phone number is 954-336-3767. That's 954-336-3767 if you'd like to find out about coming on our show. Let me just tell our TikTok audience, please share the show. We would surely appreciate it. We do not ask for gifts at all, which is very, very unusual. But that's just the way we run our show. Give us likes. Likes always help too. And again, we have another show right after this show. It's our another one of our Medicare shows. Again, I want to really tout this show we should be doing now. I hope everything is okay with her. I know that she would have probably written me and said the link isn't working. There's a lot of new things happening in Medicare. And one of the things, I don't know if you heard about this, but I call it the skinny injection, like the Ozempic and Manjaro. Starting July 1st with Medicare, those injections are only going to cost you $50 a month. I say only because those injections normally range from $900 to $1,300 a month. And President Trump has worked out a deal, and I'm sure Secretary Kennedy have worked out a deal with Medicare. I think there's only 2 companies that are going to be involved with it. But I got to tell you that if you've always wanted to do this skinny injection, but you just couldn't afford it, if you're going on Medicare, it is only going to cost you $50 a month. That's amazing. Again, since the average price is $1,000. So that's something great that's happening. And if you go to, I think it's Trump RX, the president has worked out a deal with many of the pharmaceutical companies. And he has lowered the price by anywhere from 50 to 90%. I mean, it's amazing. And there's literally hundreds of drugs on there because he's made this deal with probably 3 or 4 of the largest pharmaceutical companies. So you might have a drug that one of the majors do not produce, and it might not affect the price for that, but it's an amazing deal. So, but still, we keep hearing about prescription drugs are getting more expensive. I know the Medicare agencies are now working on, 2027 now. And the enrollment time is going to come up in October. And folks, you do not want to miss the enrollment date because if you do, there's penalties involved. And listen, I have learned that there are thousands, millions of people who do not understand Medicare. And it's okay. It's the government. So it's going to be confusing anyway. But don't feel bad if you don't understand. And that's why we have shows like this on, so people can learn about Medicare. You cannot learn about Medicare in a 60-second commercial on TV. And some of these companies send out brochures. The print is so small. And if you're at that Medicare age, you probably can't read it anyway. So again, we're talking Medicare, Medicare Advantage, senior health care. And I got to tell you, from everyone I've spoken to, including myself, Medicare is amazing. I mean, it is. Listen, you have um, put money into Medicare all your life. You deserve this. And, I'm having people ask questions about Medicaid. Totally different. Medicaid's through the state, Medicare is federal. Um, I'm noticing a lot of people, and I don't want to get political at all, but there's a lot of people who are saying that the government's taking Medicaid away from us. That is totally, totally not true. What they're taking away from is the uh, people who are abusing Medicaid. And they're taking a lot of people who should never have been eligible. They are not here legally. We should not have to pay for their Medicaid. And it's a drain on the system. And what they've done is they've taken those people off the roll. So I must tell you that those people aren't losing Medicaid. And the people who are here legally who are losing it, all they're asking them to do is work 20 hours a month. 20 hours. And it could be an in-home business. And that's all what they have found is there's people who are able to work who are using Medicaid to sit on their butts and do nothing. And I'm so glad that they're doing this. But the show is not about Medicaid. It's about Medicare. And again, enrollment is coming up in October. But don't wait till October. You want to find yourself a good agent like Jill Belvin of the Belvin Insurance Agency. I'm going to give you her phone number. It's 832-281-4474. It's 832-281-4474. It's her website is insurewithbelvin.com. Insurewithbelvin.com. Again, please share it with TikTok. Please share this and give us your likes. We do not ask for gifts at all. And I'm sure there's people right now watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or iHeart are going, what is he talking about with gifts? For their TikTok audience, you definitely know what gifts are. We do not ask for gifts at all. Again, just share the site, give us your likes. Thank you, Kathy. I can't pronounce Sophie, for the hearts. We appreciate that. We are going to be going live with our second show in about 5 minutes. You're going to love this show. We have an agent that is just such a sweetheart, and she actually goes the extra mile to benefit her clients. Like I said, you're going to love her show. She's also does a show on TikTok. So some of you might have seen her on TikTok. Again, I want to let people know about the Belvin Insurance Agency. The phone number is 832-281-4474. Again, her website is insurewithbelvin, BELVIN.com. I am going to probably sign off on this show now and get ready for our second show. Just make sure there's no comments there. And I'm letting our great producer, Juan, gosh, I don't know what I'd do without him. We've got some new mics in, and I am horrible at this stuff. And it took him 2 seconds to figure it out. So we're so lucky to have Juan. We're going to sign off now, get ready for our, and we're not signing off on TikTok. We're going to stay on live, but we're going to sign off on all of our other platforms and get ready for a second show. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.